who asked me to convey to this group today his deepest concerns and his deep commitment to continue to work and to use the prestige of his Nobel Peace Prize to bring to bear on this life-saving activity. And he reminded me of something he said many times, that the major lesson of the Holocaust for him was always believe the threats of your enemies more than the promises of your friends. And we've had promises and we've had threats. But now is the time for action. Everybody involved seems to want somebody else to be responsible. Whenever you speak to the State Department, they say, no, 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 it has to be done by the Justice Department. The Justice Department says the State Department. The UN says the United States government. The United States government says the Iraqi government. Responsibility stops with the United States government. It is the body that made the promise. It's the body that disarmed the residents, and it is responsible, legally and morally. It has been said that all that is necessary for evil to triumph is for good people to do nothing. That's not what the Bible says. The Bible says, do not stand idly by the blood of your neighbors. The people in Camp Ashraf are our neighbors. They are our brothers and sisters. We must not stand idly by. We must not do what the world did when Armenians were murdered. We must not do what the world did during the Holocaust. We must not do what the world did during several of the most recent genocides in Africa. We must prevent this massacre from occurring. We cannot remain silent. We must continue to have our voices heard. I was thrilled to hear that such distinguished former government officials actually protested in front of the White House. What a message that sends. How important this issue is to the world today. And we must continue to have our voices heard. As human rights lawyers and as monitors, we must be allowed to go to Iraq and actually observe and monitor the transfer to make sure that it's done right. We must make a promise to the people in Camp Ashraf, and that is we will not be among those who stand idly by. We will not be those good people who do nothing. We will not remain silent. Our voices will be heard. Our legal talents will be used. Our status will be employed. We must not remain silent. We have an obligation. Responsibility stops with every human being. We have the great honor and privilege to be in a position to save human lives. We must succeed. It is our obligation. That is the short term. The long term, as many of us have heard, obviously involves changes in what is going on today in Iran. We all are hopeful that someday Iran will see the kind of liberty and freedom that has been so lacking. But in the meantime, we have the responsibility for these 3,400 people, and I think every one of us on this platform today has pledged to maintain that responsibility until what we have seen on paper becomes a reality. We have succeeded on paper. We have done magnificently, marvelously in moving the immovable, and we know that the State Department is often immovable and the UN is even more immovable. We have had great successes, theoretically. Now our obligation is to turn these theoretical successes into practical results. Thank you very much.